Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Watcher of Realms video. Damn, there's a lot going on, guys. I'm seeing like some community madness. I'm seeing some community excitement. So I guess we're just going to dive in. We've just got a new patch, okay? And I've seen a fastidious video where he's kind of like highlighting a bunch of stuff that people are upset with. I guess I'll start with some of those things and I'll just give you my view on it. I'm not as kind of like enraged, I guess, as fastidious on this one, but I kind of get that, you know, some of these things are quite challenging, right? So one of the big call outs is actually the kind of like shadow nerf to Nisalt, who has recently been found out to be nuts in Guild Boss, right? So I was actually going to do, luckily I didn't, I was going to do a video on this over the next couple of days, like trying it out, seeing if I could sort of, to show off some of the stuff that he's doing. But he's been brought back in line, I guess, with that epic power. I'm not as anti a nerf as some people in these type of games, I'll be honest. It's frustrating if you've gone and invested a load of your resources into a champion and suddenly they get nerfed. I totally get that. Totally get it. But I don't think that someone should be way above their power level personally. So I'm kind of like on the fence on this one a bit. What they should have done though is been more straightforward around what was happening, because it looks like it's just been kind of like shadow nerfed rather than called out. Let's have a look at some of the other things that are going on then. So we do have coming up this weekend the Valkyria event. So as far as I'm aware, this is like a second time. I've certainly played the Crawling Dark before. Again, not everyone has though. Again, I don't mind stuff coming back, honestly. And, you know, events coming back if they were quite cool. You can't... It's hard. Like, I have Valkyria already. I don't think she's a brilliant legendary. And there's a guaranteed for Valkyria, after, 250 summons, right? So this legendary is decent. She's not top tier. This isn't like a Lust. You absolutely have got to pick up this legendary type event for me. But she's decent. She's decent. In fact, let's have a look at Fastidious's website here. Where does he put her on the tier list? Let's go for legendary fighters. So yeah, so Lust coming in very high. Valkyria is kind of like towards the bottom of A. And I'd say that's probably quite right. Like, I've got her and I use her in some Void Rift stuff, but not in loads of content. And she doesn't stand out for me as like a top tier anywhere, but she's decent in a number of places. Yeah, so yeah, I was using her here before I kind of just started to wreck it. Guild Boss, decent again if you're an earlier player. But for 250 summons, I think you want to be picking up something pretty damn solid. And I think she's good, but not crazy good. So, limited time events coming back, I actually think that's a good thing, because if people were not around when something like Lust was around, Captain Reeve I didn't have, I like the fact that he came back. One of the other things that people are upset about is it's more often than it has been. So it used to be every couple of months. Now it feels like it's every month. I mean, it's still just like, you're just making your choice, aren't you? You're just choosing when you want to get involved in these things or not. So I'm not too fussed about that. I think people make their choices around when they want to do these events. The more limited, as long as they're not every day, like the more limited... guaranteed, not limited, sorry, the more guaranteed legendaries for events that you get, I think the better. At least you know what you're getting at the end of summons. So I actually don't mind that personally. There's also going to be, in the same type of event stuff, a couple of additional summon events here. So we've got Soul Cadens and Uridin coming up over the weekend as well with the 15 times rate. So we've got a Lord in Soul Cadens who I would actually like to pick up. I think pretty damn sweet. Does a lot of burn damage. I think there's a ton of places in the game that he's going to be relevant. Challenge you got with Lords is like, it's choosing when you're going to go for it, right? And for me, Sulkadens might be that time. I'm still kind of thinking it through, but yeah, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do yet. We've also got this change to Arena. Now, this again is something which people have been upset about, and I do get it. So there's a challenge of people actually getting into the higher ranks because of the way they've changed some of the mechanics around gaining arena rank, right? So what that means is you're basically gaining less for a win than you lose for a lose. So there's this deflation of points in the arena. They've done this to try and stop boosting actually between clans, which was quite bad. The trouble is, they don't. It doesn't look like they've done it very well. There's a couple of guys I've seen do videos on this. They've been on the Forerunners. It's not working well. Literally, only about 20 people were getting into Apex Overlord. There was not many people in Overlord, and yeah, it's not like spreading the player base throughout the ranks. It's actually just pulling people back in the ranks, which was not great. And from the screenshots I've seen so far, people at the higher level, so they've been hiding. I thought I might be able to see it on my rank, but maybe it's not coming into a rank as low as this. But they're hiding the names and the power of who you're fighting, which I think is not a bad thing. It kind of equalizes arena. But at the moment, like, I guess I do. I look at rank and then think, do I think I can beat that or not? So it's definitely going to make a difference in the arena, but it definitely won't make a difference in terms of this kind of like clan boosting. If people want to do it, they've not done enough to hide who it is you're fighting. So that would need to change more, in my opinion, if that's what they're trying to aim to do. But yeah, it doesn't feel like the changes are very healthy for the game. So I'm hoping that they listen to some of this feedback and push some of that stuff in reverse, honestly. It does feel like, you know, a bunch of the changes for this patch are just frustrating the player base. Simple as that. I guess one of the other things which is being talked about at the moment are these new kind of like gear raid bundles. Very highly priced, honestly. Insanely highly priced. So this is a screenshot from one of the ones yesterday. So you're guaranteed this kind of like, you know, top level gear. You're also being guaranteed the main stat of the gear. And then you're guaranteeing, so it says here, this gear piece has one random secondary attribute. Other ones will be generated from, and then a bunch of the ones you want. So like they're hand picking good substats on a good main stat. It's just like, it's monetization at its worst, honestly, for me. And I can totally understand why people are pissed at this. It's a weird move. Watcher of Realms, it's a weird move, honestly. This patch, you're not setting yourself up in the best light, I would say. Like this patch, there's a bunch of things here where people have got a right to be pretty pissed. Yeah, interesting. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think about it, but feels like a bit of a weird direction in this patch. Hopefully they kind of like go back on a bunch of this stuff, feel the community kind of like vibe, and don't double down on it. Anyway, I've been Hell Hades. I'll see you soon.